Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective or general reading, so just be aware parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, the time is perfect for you right now. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, it could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, here we go. We're going to start with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. And we have the Emperor. So the Emperor is all about performance. Now, the Emperor is actually all four kings from the minor arcana rolled into one person. Someone who's very intelligent and wise, very able to manifest on the third dimensional plane, have the really good lifestyle. Also someone who is capable of love and being a stable person in that energy. And what else am I missing here? Oh, has a lot of passion for moving forward in life. He's all about performance. The Emperor is alpha male energy, and he wears his armor underneath his robe because in a moment's notice, he's willing to take on any project or opportunity, and he's ready at all times. Now we have the energy of the Page of Wands coming in. So the Page of Wands is talking about really embracing the new. The Page of Wands, the pages would work for the king and queen. And they would start very young at the age of about about 7 to 14. And they would generally come from the families in the area that were higher society, well educated. And they would work in the palace. And their main job was to deliver messages back and forth so that communication was available. And in those days, that was the only way that they really had. It was like having a live intercom system, basically. So the Page of Wands, if they, by the age of 21, if they were still, doing really well and they were really accomplished, they might be considered even for knighthood, so long as they could afford a horse. Now, the energy these days would be, this could be because all of the cards in the tarot are actually archetypes. So the figures here are not gender specific in that this could be a female in her masculine energy as well as a male in his masculine energy. And same for this. Although I do have to say for the Emperor, this is an alpha male. So it would have to be someone who is really in her masculine energy to adopt the Emperor energy. So this is talking about the communication. These days we have so many forms of communication. So the communication was more likely to come from a letter, a phone call, a text message. It could be, a message on social media. It could be an event that you go to that you see on social media, and then you get there and you meet someone that has the perfect information for you. There is also, the news, and whatever's happening at the news in the news at the top is generally happening to everybody below on some level. And so the Page of Wands, his element is fire, and that is represented by the wand. The wand is made of wood because wood feeds fire, and it's also representing a lot of passion. So our Page of Wands here, he's got a feather in his cap. He's very enthusiastic about life. Think of a young man under the age of 21, just ready. The pyramids in the background here represent his desire to, have knowledge about the mysteries of the world and to have an adventure in his life. And, he's very, very, very proud of his wand. And so that's what he is focused on. And you can see he's looking up to it. So one thing you have to think about with the Page of Wands is sometimes you have to take what he says with a grain of salt, because he is quite often thinking with his little head instead of his big head. And then we have the energy of the Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles can talk about feeling like you've been breadcrumbed, or you have been breadcrumbed and don't know it. This is an energy of like this person, the Six of Pentacles. He's has there's 10 pentacles in the tarot deck. So the 10 is the most. So he's doing, upper middle class basically, and he's giving some money to charity, and he's giving it to this individual. But over the head of this individual is he's holding the scales of justice and not giving him anything. And if you look closely, you'll see this person has something in his pocket already. And so this the energy here is saying, hey, get to work, you bum. I'm not giving you money. This person really can use my money and needs it. You can go get your own. You already have what you need in your pocket. And then we have this energy here of a soulmate coming in. So the soulmates, this represents an energy like on a soul level that you've made a contract and you're destined to come together at some point on this planet. And this is talking about the communication. The Hermes symbol is like for health, and medical. And this is talking also about communication. So it's ruled by Mercury. And the Mercury energy is communication between them. And as you can see, they are really looking into each other. Like they really want to know each other. This represents your masculine and your feminine energy being very balanced. And so this can represent your higher self network, what I call HSN. So HSN is like being on the internet, but the difference is the higher self network, you're on it 24/7, whether you're aware of it or not. Whereas, with the internet, when you're on it. And so these two are destined to come together. And so this reading is saying that at some point that's going to happen here in this reading. All right, now we have, we have the wounded warrior here. So this is talking about 9 of Wands. And this is about 9 actions that you and others may have taken. This is what has been seeded in your life. And so in this season, and so these wands all represent, your harvest from your actions, basically. So some of these could be like, projects that you did and that kind of energy. Some of these could, and it looks like some of them could actually be the burdens of others that you're carrying for them. And so this is why, you managed to land them. This is saying that you've been on your destined path, but it's been really challenging for you. And you're tired, like you're in this energy of almost exhaustion, you're leaning on the 9th wand, and it's the one closest to your heart, but you're thinking, oh my goodness, I still have another one to go after this. So then we have the Knight of Pentacles coming in. So the Knights are a grown-up version of the pages, as we talked about earlier. And the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. His energy, it takes his time, and his horse is at a standstill here. So he's sometimes it feels like he's lost for direction, or, he's not sure of which direction to go in that kind of energy. But, or, maybe a daydreamer. But when he does come in, the good news is when he does come in, he has a solid offer. The information is sound. He's looked into it, and this is, a strong offer. And usually when it's a pentacle, when he's bringing a pentacle in, this would be like generational wealth, the kind of legacy that you could pass down to your children and your grandchildren. We have the 9 of Cups coming in, and the 9 of Cups is representing someone who is on stage, a public figure. So this could be your energy, or maybe your soulmate's energy, that they and they're wishing for something, or you're wishing for something, or you both are. And this is to have all this happiness, all this love coming in, so that you love where you are, and you love who you're with, and you love what you do for a living. You love your clients. You love your the people around you. It's just a lot of really beautiful energy. And this is saying that you're highly favored to receive this, but you have to stay focused and stay in the game, because when you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it yet. And it's saying stay focused, because many a race is lost in the last lap. And we don't know, are these cups from the past and they're behind him? Are they above his head and they're right now? Or are they slightly ahead of him in the future? He is slightly uncomfortable being in this position. His lower body and his upper body energy is a little bit incongruent. when people sit with their feet out like this, with their toes pointed out, it really leaks energy. And so this is talking from a body language perspective, and this can tire someone out. And then also his upper body, though, he has his hands almost like in the shape of an infinity symbol. And so that could represent, he understands his potential, but maybe he's uncomfortable sitting up there because he knows he hasn't won yet. And he still has to, he has to stay in the game and finish, many a race is lost in the last lap. So he understands that he has to keep his focus so that he can complete the project, basically. And then we also have the energy of the Empress. So the Empress energy is talking about all four queens rolled into one. So this, I feel like this might be telling a story of what you went through to become an Empress, or if this is the Emperor, what he's gone through to come to the Emperor status. Like in the tarot, to become an Empress or an Emperor, you have to go through a lot of life experience so that you can gain those skills. It's not just something you're, born with. It's something you have to work towards. Unless, of course, you could be an Empress or an Emperor if you were born into, a Tsar family or something like that in Russia. But otherwise, for the rest of us, we would have to work up to that title. And so it's interesting because we're talking about two soulmates, and I feel like the energy is saying they both have been maybe on a similar journey where they're really, passionate about what they're doing. They've been pretty successful. They're destined to meet. It's been challenging. Their journey has been challenging in many ways, but they've managed to land a lot of the wands that, the projects that they went on. It feels like the money is coming. It's taken a long time for the lifestyle and the money to come in a strong way, but it is on its way. Slow and steady sometimes wins the race, but what do we have to be 100? It's that kind of energy. And then we have one of you or both of you could be public figures. It's talking about wanting to, this is about wishing for a lifestyle that supports this. So perhaps that's one or both of you is speaks for a living or whatever, and this is part of your destined plan. And so you empower each other in that way. The Empress is growing wheat at her feet here. And so this is about, planting the seeds, and then she prepares the field and she does all the planning. And then when she has it done, she doesn't worry about it after that. She's done her best. She knows she's done her best to have a good result. And she relies on nature then to take its course and bring the crop in for her. And, she is said to be pregnant with possibilities, and sometimes this can even represent someone who is physically pregnant. And then we have the marriage card here. So this is the official marriage card, or a card of commitment in the tarot. This with the soulmate energy, the soulmates don't have to be romantic partners, but I think God in his wisdom quite often arranges it that way because it's more fun to be with someone that you love, that you're in love with and you're passionate with, and that also is empowering you and you're empowering them. Then, you have it all in one package and you get more done. God's smart. So this is talking about, the beginning of this fulfillment. And so this is saying that this bottom row is like, okay, this is what's going on. And these are the tools that you have to move through this. And now these are the obstacles coming in, or, are how you're going to get through this. So this is talking about, first of all, you have to meet and then, get together, and possibly there's a commitment made here, and it may be marriage, it may be working together, whatever that is. But this is saying basically the beginning of fulfillment, and you're well on your way, because this is saying you have the down payment for your castle, which is a huge accomplishment, and then but you still have mortgage payments to make. They've popped the question and you've said yes, or they've said yes, and now you are focusing on the wedding, but after the wedding you'll have to focus on the relationship to make it a solid one. It's that kind of energy. And then we have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is talking very similar to this energy. And so this is sitting also on here. So, you know, because the Emperor came out first, I feel like this might represent the Emperor's energy, basically, and the Empress's energy. But I feel like the Empress, because she came out second, might still be kind of like not quite moving forward yet in this energy, because she does like this card represents a mental prison. It's like you're duty bound to something, and you don't feel like you can just walk away from whatever all you have. She has a blindfold on, and this represents not being able to see how to get out of a situation, basically, or, you know, or not wanting to even see the situation in its entirety. But this energy, I feel like there was more water here to begin with, and this energy, it's drying up. So her right foot is moving forward, so that represents the masculine energy and wanting to, you know, she has all these swords behind her now. So this can represent the energy. Okay, she's thought through these many, and she just has this one left. And maybe now she's knows what she wants to do, but she's got to make plans in her head, like basically how to move forward with this thought. And so at one time, if there was more water here, it would have been a lot more emotion. But here, because the water represents emotion in tarot, but now her left foot is just in a very shallow puddle. That's not saying her emotions are shallow. It's just saying that there's not as much emotion attached to the situation. So she's much more clear-headed and has more of an ability to move forward now. And this is the Queen of Swords coming in. So quite often, when the King and Queen, when someone's, the Empress energy comes in my readings lately, I've noticed a lot of times the Queens will come in and it's telling the story of how the Empress became an Empress, and it's telling the story of how the Emperor became the Emperor if a bunch of the kings come out. So this is talking about the Empress having to learn the lesson. And, you know, this is the sword maybe. And she's got maybe this sword now up in her right hand. And so the Queen of Swords has learned the art of discernment. And she has been there, done that, has the t-shirt, does not want to put up with any bullshit. And so if she's saying, I'm willing to receive this good energy coming in from the Emperor, having said that, you better come in correct, or don't even bother coming in, because I will, it'll be off with your head. She has no patience left, and her head is above the clouds, so she has clarity now that she didn't have before. So she's not going to put up with any bullshit. She knows what she wants, and she knows what she doesn't want. We have the Ace of Pentacles. So when she shifts her energy to this place where she is willing to receive it, she's moved forward, she's back on her throne, but now she has a lot of discernment compared to how she used to have. And so the Pentacle energy is able to come in. So God is offering, and the universe is collaborating with God to offer this Pentacle. And so it's a lot of money. It's a lot of lifestyle. It's you know, a legacy that you can hand down to your children and your children's children. So this is, and we have that twice now in the reading. So it's saying maybe the information from the Knight of Pentacles has finally arrived, and that's what she is willing to receive now. And it could be the Emperor offering her this. We'll see here. We have... Oh, wow. So also being offered like passion. So this is the energy that, you know, this is the gift of having passion for what you do and who you're with and what, you know, and the new, not being afraid of change and really embracing it, which is really a powerful thing right now. All the astrology, I mean, you can look on my channel. I have a playlist with the energy of the new moon and full moon, and I'm doing the readings right now for the new moon coming up. But I did reading for each of the signs for the eclipses, because we just finished this eclipse season. There was 2 eclipses 2 weeks apart, and this energy is really still with us right now, and it's talking about really working on the area that's weakest in your life And then taking the time again then to look at the big picture before you make any big decisions. And we are right now at the time that I'm doing this reading also, we are in Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is infamously known for making communication glitches and, having technology breakdown, that kind of energy, like communication going offside, not being able to reach people, that kind of energy. So, or then not, when the information does come in, not understanding it with clarity. And then we have here, this is like a cutthroat energy. And this is talking, I feel like, about the energy that the Queen of Swords went through. So this can talk about competition that, wants to win, and you also want to win. And it's like, you'll do what you have to win. And sometimes this energy is worth it and sometimes it's not. This can also talk about having an energy of a battle within yourself, where you're doing everything like you're in this stage where you're overthinking, and it's like your mind just won't rest. And so it's really, really hard to get into your intuitive energy to see any other options, any creative solutions, because your mind has taken over. So instead of you controlling your mind is controlling you. So this card sometimes can represent the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind. So your subconscious mind is formed by the time you are about 7 years of age. And that's the mind that when we get triggered, that's when we tend to rely on. And it's interesting because, if you think about when you were a baby, you probably don't remember anything about a baby and probably don't have a whole lot of memory about what happened to you before kindergarten age. And so really, when you're a baby, you absorb so much of your environment. It's like you're a sponge. And so the subconscious mind is very heavily imprinted on us. But when you think about it, if you can't remember anything, then you're relying on the people that were in charge of your care to tell you like how you were and who oh, you were a happy baby, you were a sad baby, you did this, you did that. But you don't really have the solid memory yourself. And yet that's the mind that when we get the most stressed out, that's the one that we tend to rely on. And then we have the unconscious mind, which is actually the needs of the soul. And that's this energy here. If your soul doesn't feel like the needs are being met on a spiritual level, it will become very, very loud. And so a lot of people will say, well, I'm a human being with a soul, but it would be more accurate to say that you are a soul traveling in a human body. And this is how you experience and navigate life, is through your body. And we have also your conscious thoughts, and your conscious thoughts are, from your own personal memory, from your own actions and inactions, like, of what you yourself have done, like you're in charge of that. And so when those three come together and they're congruent and they plug into your heart's desires, then that's when you can have like really beautiful creative solutions and move into this fulfillment now with your authentic desires. And so this energy here is talking about, getting that discipline of the mind. And then we have here, someone has their eye on you. So like this is the energy coming in. So now this is the obstacles, is disciplining your mind so that you're in a position to receive and to meet your soulmate so that you can move forward in your journey here. And so this is talking about the Page of Cups recognizes there's plenty of fish in the sea, but this is the cup that he is the most interested in, this fish in here. And so this energy is like he wants to, maybe it's a communication about, would you like to go on a date? Would you like to go for supper? That kind of energy, some sort of communication between you and your soulmate. And as I said, it doesn't have to be a cup of love, but it looks like, because just of the cards, the way they are lining up here, that's what this is. It could be both, which, yeah. And then we have, so we have this energy. Now, there could be a couple ways of reading this. Part of the reason maybe why you're in this state of mind how you got there is there was something fishy happening in your love life, and it caused you a lot of issues. And so for the two of you to meet, you would first have to remove yourself from this relationship. And quite often, the Queen of Swords is someone who is divorced or separated because they're very independent. And so that could be the energy that you're in, and you've been, and now maybe this is saying, okay, your divorce came through, and now, you're single again. And so you've walked through that portal. And this is like water here. The ships are sailing on the water. The water is yellow because the sun is shining its light on that. But this is someone who wants to expand their horizons and move forward in their life, and possibly even in a different location, a different country, that kind of energy. Yeah, healing from the heartbreak here. And this is usually indicating, when you first see this, it's like, oh my goodness, there's 3 swords in this person's heart. How are they ever going to recover from that? But then you look again and you realize the heart is big in context to the size of the sword. So they're more like, nails or pinpricks. So it's bad, but there's potential that you could heal from this situation. And this quite often means that you're making, that there could be a heartbreaking decision that needs to be made. So it definitely is about someone you love, and it most likely is about your romantic partner at the time. Perhaps it's a spouse, and you've decided, yes, I'm getting divorced. I'm not going through this with this person anymore. Done. That's the energy. And that would be the duty-bound part. And so this energy is talking about, also though, it can also represent this energy. Remember how I said bringing your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind together. And now you're at your, plugged into your heart. And and look at it, it's right with the gift from the divine and the soulmate energy. So this is saying, because this is having the courage to step into your, it's to have the courage of being able to step into your heart's desires. And so that's what I feel that's what the Empress is in the process of. And the Emperor is just patiently waiting, or impatiently waiting, knowing the Emperor, because he's used to having, like his way. And now we have the Queen of Pentacles. And so this is talking about now this reward coming in from this energy. Also, this is like talking about having the passion, God giving you the gift of having the passion to be in a relationship, like a loving relationship again, and healing your heart so that you can forgive and open your heart and be vulnerable again. And now it's also saying the reward of the Pentacles is able to come in now too, because you're ready for that as well. And so the Queen of Pentacles is known for being very resourceful. She's focused on the pentacle. She prefers quality over quantity. So this isn't flashy money, but she has this is generational wealth. So this is more like old money. It's not like, flashing it around town and having all the designer items and 6 cars and, you might have a castle though, just because you like to. And then, this is about getting over that disappointment in love. And so there was maybe something fishy in her old relationship, but now this is a new offer coming in. And the disappointment in love, we notice we have 3 cups here. And he's sitting under the tree here, and he's like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with another cup of love right now. Like, it's just too much. This could even be the Emperor's energy. And we might be switching to him. Now that she's ready, he has to get ready. And maybe he's been sitting here quietly waiting for her to get ready. And then he's like, okay, should I take this new cup of love? But this also can represent, I feel like it's representing both their energies. The thing about the soulmates, even though they haven't met and they might live totally different lifestyles, when they get together, they'll notice oh yeah, I went through that when I was that age. And I went through that when I was that age. Yeah, I've been through that too. So they have a real firm understanding of what the other person went through, because they both have gone through similar situations, but, to different degrees and in different ways. And so for the for the Empress energy, I feel like this is saying, yeah, there was a third party kind of energy. And there may have, because this represents pregnancy, this may have even ended in a pregnancy with, out of the marriage kind of energy. Because that's like that, for like, here's the 3 cups, and maybe the Empress's partner had gotten someone else, got that third party energy pregnant, and that's been really hard. That maybe is why it's been a really challenging situation. So, this can also represent an energy, like if it's the Emperor's energy, it could be like giving someone 3 chances, and now they're saying, just give me one more chance. And he's saying, no, I'm done. I already have my eye on someone else. See you, kind of energy. The Hierophant is coming in. So the Hierophant is talking about moral and also 3D justice coming through. The Hierophant is responsible for bringing that through. So if you're a religious person, this could represent like the Pope, the Bishop, a Cardinal, gurus. And if you're spiritual, it could represent just going straight to God and meditating and praying to get clarity. And then this energy comes down to earth, and now justice is being served. And you see the Hierophant has his hand in the sign of a blessing, and that's talking about the blessings are going to start coming in now. We have the shifty energy here, the shift disturber energy. So I feel like this is it could be talking about both of these people now, that the blessings are coming in. And this is talking about a walking contradiction. So this person is looking backwards, but moving forward. They've stolen or taken away 5 swords, but they've left 2. They're looking over their shoulder. It looks like they might be a thief, but they're not a thief in the night. They look like this would be more like white collar crime kind of energy. It's something they do by day and with their thoughts. And thoughts are expressed by words, and words can be either written or verbal. So this energy is talking, and if you look at this card, this is a walking contradiction. And this is kind of energy of someone who's careless, not necessarily a bad person, but someone that really does dangerous, impulsive activities. And one of the things, and it also can represent a thief, but this energy is like, look how he's holding these swords, like, and he's not looking where he's going. He's looking over his shoulder, like he needs to. He's always looking over his shoulder. And so this is just a real shifty energy. It's someone you can't rely on. It's, someone who's maybe sneaking on to go on a tryst. If you have been in one of my other readings, I can't remember which one, it was a couple ago, where there was, I think it was just yesterday maybe, the daily reading, the word tryst came up, and I promised that I would share that in a post and look up the actual definition. And yes, the definition of a tryst is like a romantic, passionate meeting between people who already are in relationships and they're sneaking around. But it also can mean a political or a business meeting that is done secretly. So it could work either way. And so that was to do with this energy as well. So here we have the star energy, and this is about you being on your destined path, both of you. And so eventually you're going to meet here if you have not yet. And this is talking about the blessings are starting to come in. And I feel like maybe you have met and you're both or you're about to, because this card is talking about being on your path now. This is your North Star energy, your North Node. And interestingly enough, on the 23rd, on the 20th of March, there will be, Mercury will go back direct. So the communication will start becoming easier to deal with, and technology, etc. And then on the 23rd, the North Node joins Mercury in the Aries energy for, I think it's a couple days or 3 days. So that energy is going to be, it's about your North Star. It's about your destined path. That might be a good time to meet up with the Emperor and the Empress coming together. This is saying that you were meant to be a star. You're on, as long as you stay on your divine path. She is adding her own special qualities to the water here, of the universal pool, and then pouring that out onto Earth. And you'll notice there's 5 streams here. And those 5 streams represent the points on the pentacle here. And it's right above it. So I feel like it's almost, you know, if I feel like you're about to meet very soon here. And it could be someone you've already met, but it would be like you bump into them again or whatever. And it's definitely someone you haven't had a relationship with yet, though, in the past. And this, because you've walked away from the old and you're embracing the new. I feel like, you know, we have like both the new moon and the full moon. And the energy is so supportive of that right now. So many planets have moved into Aries. We have Neptune, Saturn, Venus on the March the 6th, which controls love, basically rules over love, is with Mercury in with the North Node. So I feel like what day, like the 23rd, is probably a really good day to end up with your soulmate. And this is talking about going through all of this and then walking away from something, or they're walking away and it's over and now you're ready. Now you're stepping into the new, and I feel like it's this energy here that we just had the eclipse season. So eclipse season lasts 6 months, but that one day, like around the 23rd of March, you know, like I think it's 24 to, might be 48 hours or something, that the Mercury and the North Node are together. And, you know, Venus is also there with Neptune and Saturn. And there's a lot of new energy from a lot of the bigger planets. A lot of planets are moving into new signs right now. And a lot of them are moving into the new energy of Aries. And so this is talking about, I feel like this is talking about the disappointment from the past and also the energy. It's like, okay, everything that you learned from this situation here, you're now going to be able to, like you've decided, okay, the Pentacle situation is going to work out. It's not like starting over all over again. It's more like starting over with way more information about what you've learned. So, and remember, the pentacles don't represent just money. They represent your time and your energy and what you invest in and your return. Generally, the Empress and the Emperor have a lot of money, but it's talking about the journey of getting to Emperor and Empress status, basically. Yes, and the courage is paying off. So, you know, this young woman is reaching into the lion's mouth, and he's a mature lion, so this would be a very dangerous thing to do. But the lion is being very submissive and allowing it, because he can tell that she is not afraid. She is facing all her fears because she wants this infinite potential. So this is talking about really having this passion now for the new. And the Tower hits. So this is a reality check. And I feel like this energy could be, like it's right on this sneaky energy. And it's about the pentacles and the information coming in from the pentacles. So I feel like this breadcrumbing energy is over, and maybe there's some sort of inheritance or something that's coming in that you didn't know about. There's something coming in. It's going to be a big financial reward. And it will give you... as long as you pour your energy into it in a new way, it's going to give you everything you need to be on this new journey. I feel that this reality check with this Hierophant, it indicates that, like I'll show you the legal cards here that are coming up here. So just being in this wounded energy, this card can not just represent mental prison, but it can actually represent prison. We also have... where is it? Oh, the energy of the Hierophant, the sneaky thief energy, the white collar crime kind of energy, money being missing, and a reality check here. And so justice coming in on some level here. So there might be some legalities that you're going through. It might even be like if you're like for the Empress energy, it looks like she's getting divorced or, is in that process, and it could have to do with that, waiting for that money to come in. So the Tower is a reality check for everybody. So I feel like, it could be a downward spiral for the people that have been in this sneaky energy, and an upward spiral for you to be on your journey in a strong way. You think about it, how often does lightning strike? About as often as you win the lottery. It's that kind. So for some people, this Tower, like one person here looks really shocked and the other one's kind of like, oh, I was kind of thinking this was going to happen. So this is talking about a new lover coming in here. So this might be when you meet, when some sort of reality check happens and it causes the two of you to get together somehow. And then this is talking about, again, like, this energy is you don't know each other that well. This is an energy, you may know of each other, you may have met at some point, but it's saying you haven't had a relationship with each other in the past. This is a new energy, like more of the new. Oh, and then look at what comes up is the temptation here. Interesting. So this is talking about, look at the difference here. This is talking about the difference in the lovers here. Like from both the Emperor and the Empress, like from the past. Like look at the difference. Here, they just don't know each other. Here, the devil's in between them. They're yoked to each other and they're chained to Saturn's box. This is talking like whoa, that's pretty much says it all, doesn't it? So this is talking about lust, and this is talking about actual love. God is shining down on this relationship. The devil is manipulating two people to get into this relationship. Interesting energy. Really interesting energy. Yeah. Wow. That's like pretty clear, isn't it? So whenever the devil energy comes up, I always cover it with the next card up. The devil, the devil spelled backwards is lived, as in used to. So he's not able to do any of his own dirty work. He sends a minion in. So let's see who he sends in or what this is about, and does God cover it? Look at this. So this is talking about Temperance is the angels that God sends down to earth to stay, to make the world a better place. There's a lot of talk about this energy being the earth angel energy. And so, really interesting. Really interesting. I feel like this is saying that the devil really did not want this to happen, but it happened because this is God's will. Like this is... the temperance is having the patience to stay on your destined path no matter what. As hard as it is, you stay on the path. And, it might take you longer to get where you're going. And you'll see a lot of people that take the easier way out and they do way better. But this is saying that because you stayed on your path, this person that God is sending, and it could also say that in the past, both of you were more into relationships that had to do with, like, they weren't ordained. Let me put it to you this way. The relationships you were in the past were not ordained by God. This one's going to be different because this is a soul connection ordained by God. If God, like, not all relationships are the ones that God would choose for you, like most of them, especially when you end up in this kind of energy, and that's what this is saying. Like, this is the difference. Like, which one, like, it's almost like this. Which one would you rather be? Which relationship would you rather be in? You know what I mean? It pays to stay on your path and to have the patience to do so. And then look at this. There's the King of Swords at the top. So the King of Swords does represent like a divorce lawyer. It can represent that kind of energy, but it's about mastering a skill set, your skill set. And the profession of the King of Swords is using words, and written or verbal, to earn their living. And so this can represent like the court energy, legalities. Quite often this represents a divorce lawyer. So I feel like this is just confirming both the emperor and the empress might be divorced. This could be, and both of you, the reason why you couldn't get together sooner is because you had to be divorced. You had to have totally ended that relation. Both of you had to end the relationships that were holding you back. And so that, I feel like that's the energy coming in here at the top, is cutting the bullshit out of your life and making it official. It has to be, a lot of times people will say, well, yeah, you know, my spouse and I, we split up, but we don't want to pay for a divorce. So we're still married, but we're separated, and, you know, we don't, you know, decided not to spend the money. And I just look at them and say, that's a legal spiritual agreement. Well, it's not necessarily spiritual if it wasn't ordained by God, but it's, you need to clear that energy up or you're still in it. That's that, like you have to make that tie, cut that tie to have the energy to support a new relationship coming in on every level. So that includes the legalities on earth. Interesting. So going from the bottom to the top and back down again. Wow, this is like, so this could be like a long time. Like when we're talking about a long time, we could be talking like, you know, maybe you met this person like 40 years ago. You know, maybe you went to school with them when you were a kid. Who knows? It's a long time coming. But this is having like a new passion, feeling it coming in. And, you know, this is like fighting for what's yours, but it also can be about the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind coming together in your heart's desires. Having something stinky going on in your love life and having to work through that energy, you know, like, and leave it. Like you have to make that decision, like, okay, I'm done. I'm not in this duty-bound energy anymore. And then the loss of everything, like the lifestyle and your passion and your, you know, like including your coin, will be returned to you 100-fold when you give up this energy that you were in this relationship. This wasn't the healthiest relationship, is what this is saying. And then getting that paperwork done, basically, and then you're ready for the new energy. A tower is probably going to hit. It's going to be a reality check for everybody. And the sirens are just going off. I don't know if you can hear it as soon as I said that. So it's going to be like kaboom. And it could be very public with that energy here. But the Hierophant is here, like this is a blessing in disguise, because then it's going to be like ending this disappointing relationships for both, and make it possible for you to make a commitment that's a true commitment, a more fulfilling one, and being in this Empress and Emperor energy together then. Really interesting. What a strange, yeah. But it's really not. This is how life is. And as I said, the Empress and Emperor have had to go through a lot of life experiences to get to this point. So this could be over, like it definitely is over time for sure. Like this isn't a young couple, you know, that goes through this kind of energy. This is, you know, maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't know the age. It's, you know, maturity isn't so much about age, it's about experience. So I'm going to clarify this for those of you who want it clarified. This is my Oracle Tales from the Vector that I'm using to clarify. I started this in 2007, and in 2020 I completed the 64 paintings. Now I'm working on bringing it out. Eventually, I want to play with it for a while. You may have noticed that when I have a lot of written information. I have a website, talesfromthevector.com. And I'll have that information in the description box below. Then the numbers on the cards that I'm using represent the numbers on the paintings in my gallery on my website. And so if you want to check them out, you can. But I just know, like, I need to play with the cards a bit to be able to see how they are in action now that I have the whole deck done. And so we have this energy coming in. For the overlying energy is this transition. So definitely having to have a cycle end and then be rebirthed kind of energy. This is then you can go on a foolhardy. So it's talking about when the fool starts out. If you stay on your path, it's foolhardy, you can anticipate, having a strong ending. It might take a lot to get there, but there's a lot of potential here to have a really good ending. And this is ruled by the sun. So the sun is God, and this is the happiest card in the deck. So this is saying that, if you're on a foolhardy journey, you're going to, once you're on a foolhardy journey and you're really in God's plan, that it'll be a happy existence, and you will have what you need to be with your soulmate and go on that journey. It's saying the chariot is already, the chariot is already spinning, so this is talking about this energy coming in. The chariot can also represent I keep seeing an upward spiral and a downward spiral. So as this energy is coming in, the people that, I feel like there's some sort of legalities here, something going on. And the chariot sometimes can represent the law and order being involved. And as soon as I had said this about this, and we're moving into this new energy, there were sirens right out, down the street here, and boom, right then. And that can represent the police coming in, law and order, on the third dimensional plane. And then we have dissemination of information. So this is when there's an elephant in the room, but you're like, elephant? What elephant? And that's like when we're in these relationships where, like, this is how we're feeling. This is how we look, but we're saying, what elephant? Dissemination of information. And then this is like when you start believing what you're saying to yourself. And it's, come on now, there's an elephant in the room. Can't you see it? No, I can't see it. And then we have Scorpio energy coming in. So I just want to point out, when my horoscope signs come in to a reading like this, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the energy of each of the signs. We all have a little bit of every sign in us. And so this energy is talking about, what the strengths and weaknesses that we can learn from. And the Scorpio energy is about the sexual gladiator of the universe. So this is talking about someone that you could be very passionate with, and that also this the Scorpio energy, it's represented by the scorpion, so they can really sting. So either they're going to, when they're in their strength, they're going to elevate, and in their weakness, they could be wanting to conquer others. We have the guiding star energy, which is talking about using your intuition, coming in from the crown chakra. And this is representing your North Star energy. So when you're on your path, here, then it means that you're on, the path that you came down to earth to, your mission, similar to the earth angel energy. And this guiding star energy is talking about using your intuition as well as your logic to get where you want to go and what you want to do with it. And we have justice coming in. So this is talking, I feel like this justice is, partly karma, but it's justice for the soulmates to meet, because that's what their soul wanted to do. And I feel like both of the Emperor and the Empress energies were both really focused on, maybe they had children, and they had shift to do and a lot of responsibilities in that. And that's why but it was meant to happen later in life that they came together. That's the energy I'm picking up. It wasn't meant to be like a first time, romance. It's a kind of like, by the time you become in the Emperor and the Empress energy, you really don't have much tolerance. You're like the Queen of Swords. Like, you don't have much tolerance for people who can't get their shift together. It's just like, I just been there, done that. I really don't want to do that again. And so the Sagittarius energy is talking about expansion and being, having an interesting life, and having Jupiter is about really strong energy. And actually, Jupiter has moved into the sign of Cancer on the 11th of March, and this energy is really talking about, your focus on your home and your family. And I feel like this energy is now shifting to more like, let's go have some adventure, that kind of energy. And now we have Taurus. So the Taurus energy is talking about the give and take in life and learning, discernment. How are you going to handle yourself? Who are you going to invest in? How much are you going to invest in? How much time and money and energy are you going to put into a project or a person? And what are you expecting or anticipating your return to be? And is it a fair exchange? Learning that. And you start learning that when you're a toddler. The Taurus energy is the second sign in the zodiac. And, it's represented by the bull energy. And so toddlers are really sweet until you ask them to share something. And then, they're represented, like, they can be so stubborn. And they could be like, throw a temper tantrum and be like a bull in a china shop when they get really worked up when they don't get their way. We have, and so you want to outgrow that. And then we have the Lovers coming in, and that's talking after you have to let go of the old energy, though. This is kind of like, it's like you can't have this when you still are hanging on to that. Whoops. And then the strength and the courage to be able to move into your heart's desires. And, then that's represented right on here on the strength card here. That's about facing your inner fear. It's about love and being vulnerable again. And also having the strength to stay in your integrity and be honest and true to yourself in that energy. And then we have the Virgo energy coming in, and that was just the moon that we just went through, where the last, there was a full moon on the 3rd, and it was in the sign of Virgo, and it was talking about getting your ducks in order so you're ready for the new energy, basically. And again, this is ruled by Mercury, so the communication again is coming in way stronger. So I feel like now is a really good time to go inward and really figure out what you want and get your paperwork done. It's income tax season right now. Make sure you have like everything that you can have done. So everything's in order, so that if something comes up and you have an opportunity to go on a bit of a vacation or an adventure, that it's like, yeah, I'm all ready. I have my bag packed, kind of energy. Yeah, and then the solar plexus energy, having the courage to move forward in a different way, because there is going to be a reality check coming in for everybody involved in this. And so reality, the Tower energy, a lot of times you'll look back on it and say, wow, that was the best thing that ever happened. But you don't say that when it's happening because of the lack of awareness around the energy around it. Yeah. And so that's, it's basically talking about real life energy and what do we want to put into it. And it's kind of what you put into it is what you get. So being aware, never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. When there's an elephant in the room, there's an elephant in the room. It's about, but love is blind. So, it is that way for a reason. So this is a reading about talking about again, and I've been getting a lot of these readings, and I feel it has to do with at the top now what we're seeing in the world, like all the wild energy that's out there right now. It's just kind of like, wow. There's a lot of information coming in, a lot of major changes, and we've got the war in Iran now. It's just, like you're almost afraid to look what's going to happen today, because that energy comes down to, the average everyday person. Everybody's affected by this energy. And really being shocked at the judgment of some of the people that are at the top there. They have the power, they have the looks, they have the money, they have the talent, and this is what they do with it. It's kind of like, wow. It's hard to watch. It's hard to accept, and it's kind of like has a lot of people feeling very kind of like wanting a new energy on this planet, which is good. I'm all for that. Let's have more love and less war, for sure. Absolutely, I'm in. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Please do like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing if you resonate. I would be honored if you did so, and I will be back with another daily tarot reading. I've got a little cat who's been purring away, and now she's stretching. I'm sorry, I have to wake you up, little girl.